everyone, welcome back to the session of English. In this session, we are going to continue with our chapter Reading Comprehension. This is very important topic for any competitive exam. Now, this is part 3. In part 1 and part 2, we have already discussed the concept of reading comprehension and we also did some passages and questions based on them. In this session as well, we are going to discuss several passages and questions based on them. So let's begin the session. Here we'll start with passage number 6. It means still passage number 5 we have already discussed in our earlier sessions. So let us read the passage but not the complete passage. We'll directly move to the questions after reading and getting the idea that what the passage is about, as we did earlier as well. Now here it is written, Pidgins are languages that are not acquired as mother tongues and that are used for a restricted set of communicative functions. Now it means here we are going to talk about some languages or a language which is known as Pidgins. So let us read further something about this. They are formed from a mixture of languages and have a limited vocabulary and a simplified grammar. So this is actually the definition of Pidgins. So we are going to discuss about Pidgins in this chapter or in this passage. Now let us just move to the questions. This is the style of doing a passage. Now let us read the first question. A Pidgin develops in a situation when. So the question is, a Pidgin develops in a situation when. Now let us see what is there in the given passage. It is written, Pidgins are languages that are not acquired as mother tongues and that are used for a restricted set of communicative functions. They are formed from a mixture of languages and have a limited vocabulary and simplified grammar. Pidgins serve as a means of communication between speakers of mutually unintelligible language and may become essential in multilingual areas. Now, let us see the options given in question number 1. Different and mutually unintelligible language exist side by side. A Creole becomes the mother tongue of a linguistic community. A language with restricted vocabulary undergoes an expansion in grammar and vocabulary. But there we read that it has limited vocabulary as well. Two similar languages are mixed to create a new language. No, there were multiple languages which were mixed. So these two options are not correct according to the context of the passage. Now it is written, different and mutually unintelligible languages exist side by side. And in this paragraph, in the first paragraph, we can see have a limited vocabulary and simplified grammar. Pidgins serve as a means of communication between speakers of mutually unintelligible languages and may become essential in multilingual areas. So this option will be the correct answer as per the meaning of the passage. So A is absolutely correct. Now in this, it is written, a Creole becomes the mother tongue of a linguistic community. We have not learnt about this word yet. A language with restricted vocabulary undergoes an expansion in grammar, whereas it is written in the passage that it has simplified grammar. Two similar languages, no, there are multi-languages or the mixed languages, or we can say many languages when mixed. They form a Pidgin language. Therefore, these three options are not correct according to the passage, but A option is absolutely correct as per the first paragraph. So our answer is A. Now it happens normally that the answer of the first question we generally find in the first paragraph, but it is not same always. So sometimes we need to read the entire passage, or sometimes we just have to go through the passage and see the keyword which is given, because here it is written, a Pidgin develops. So let us see the keyword. So Pidgin develops, and here in this part it is written, Pidgins are languages. So here Pidgins have been defined. Also, we can see the options and the requirements of the options. So according to these phrases, that is mixture of languages and they are formed from a mixture of languages, simplified grammar. So with the help of options, we can easily find out the answers which are required. Now let us move to the second one. So try to Find out this. According to the given passage, a pidgin becomes a Creole when. Now we have to learn about this Creole. Now, what is this Creole stands for? Now, let us see this in the passage. Now, till this part, multilingual areas, we have just read about the Pidgin's language. Now, let us move to the next paragraph. A Creole develops from a Pidgin when the Pidgin becomes the mother tongue of the community. Now, here, a Creole has been talked about, that it becomes a Pidgin, or it develops from a Pidgin when the Pidgin becomes the mother tongue of the community. To cope with the consequent expansion of communicative functions, the vocabulary is increased and the grammar becomes more complex. When a Creole and the standard variety of English coexist, as in the Caribbean, there is a continuum from the most extreme form of Creole to the form that is closest to the standard language. So we were just asked about the Creole, from where it developed. So it develops when the Pidgin becomes the mother tongue. Now let us see the options. It ceases to be means of communication. It becomes the mother tongue for a new generation of speakers. Its vocabulary undergoes some kind of change. Two or more languages are mixed with an existing Pidgin. So in the option B, it is given that when it becomes the mother tongue for a new generation of speakers. So in the B option, it is given, it becomes the mother tongue for a new generation of speakers. So this is the sentence which is required, and it is given in the passage also. Look, might be you will not be given the direct line which has been used in the paragraph as it is, but you will be given the line which is similar to it, or which is written in the similar formation as it is in paragraph. So you have to look for the words, for the keywords, what are the requirements that you need to have that according to the passage. Therefore our answer of this question is B. So B is the correct answer of this passage. Now let us move to the next one. According to the passage, a Creole continuum is. Now, when we were reading the passage, we have read this word, that is Creole continuum. Now, whenever you see such words, try to just be and focused to the passage, because many a times it happens that whenever we read a word and it is written in the later questions, so we should be aware, and we should have that structure in our mind, that where this word is written. So we know well that it was written in the second passage, in the second paragraph, and the question which has been asked is, according to the passage, a Creole continuum is. It means we have been asked the definition of Creole continuum. So let us see, here it is written, where a Creole and the standard variety of English coexist, as in the Caribbean, there is a continuum from the most extreme form of Creole to the form that is closest to the standard language. Now, linguists mark of the relative positions on the Creole continuum as the basilisk and the mesolith and the acrolith. Now let us see in the options given to us. Also, it is written in this line as well, that most Creole speakers can vary their speech along the continuum, and many are also competent in the standard English of their country. Now let us see the options. A linguistic term from the mixture of more than two languages, a scale which measures the linguistic competence of the speaker, a scale in which proximity of the Creole to the standard language is measured, or a record of the continuous history of a Creole. Now, if we look this in this line, when a Creole and the standard variety of English coexist, as in the Caribbean, there is a continuum from the most extreme form of Creole to the form that is closest to the standard language. It means there is a measurement about the Creole and the standard language. So The third option is correct, that it is a scale in which proximity of the Creole to the standard language is measured. So according to the passage, answer is C. So C is absolutely correct answer or the correct option of this question. Now let us move to the next one. According to the passage, basilisk means. Now if you see the passage again, here it is written basilisk. Now the meaning of this word is given in this bracket, the furthest from the standard language. Now let us see the options. An impure form of Creole, the form of Creole which is furthest from the standard language. This is what we have just read. Therefore, answer is B. So the answer of question number 4 is B, which is given directly in the passage. A form of Creole which has an extended vocabulary, a form of Creole which is very close to the standard language. No, only answer B is absolutely correct. Find out a word in the passage which is opposite in the meaning to the word simplified. Now, we have been asked about the meaning of this word simplified. So, we have been asked the meaning. Sorry, we have been asked the opposite. Opposite means antonym word. So, let us see. Well, if you have an idea, if a word is given to you and you will be asked either the synonym or the antonym, the opposite or the meaning of that particular word, if you have an idea about that particular word, you can mark your answer directly. But if you have no idea, you should go and look for that word written in the passage, and from that you can answer the question. Now it is simplified, it means something which is very very simple. Now let us see the options. Here it is given complex, so something which is not simple at all. Expansion, to expand something or to spread something, to enhance something. Restricted, to stop something. Consequent means the result. So, well, it is well obvious that the opposite of the simplified is complex according to the options given below. So, our answer is A, and this is absolutely correct. Also, this word is used in the passage. In the first paragraph, it is written simplified grammar, and in the second paragraph it is written increased and grammar becomes more complex. So the opposite of that simplified is complex. So according to the passage as well, the opposite of this word simplified is complex. The opposite of this word simplified is complex. So this is our answer. So we had 5 questions over here and we have marked all the questions and all the questions are correct. Now, I hope you also have marked the answers correctly. So now let us move to the next paragraph. So the next passage is passage number 7. Now let us do this. The stunning Baltimore Oriole is a common summer visitor to eastern and midwestern deciduous woodlands, neighborhoods, and gardens. Now, what does this Baltimore Oriole refer to? Basically, it is the name of a bird. So, if you know this, then fine. But if you don't know this, let us read the passage furthermore so that we can have an idea about what this is. About what is this? Now, Baltimore Orioles winter in the tropics. About 7 inches in length, the male Baltimore Oriole has a black head, throat, back, and wings. Its breast, stomach, and rump are bright orange. So, here colors have been given to us. It also has an orange patch on the top of each wing and white wing bars. Now, wing we generally see in birds only. The tail is mostly black with orange fringes. So here the bird has been described according to the colors, according to its structure, that what is the color of its wings, what is the color of its stomach, what is the color of its different parts of the body. So it is given to us in this passage. The female is dull orange throughout. Now we have 2 types of Baltimore Oriole over there, that is, one is male and one is female. So here the colors of both have been talked about. we have talked about the male's color or the female's color as well, because it is written the female is dull orange throughout. It means the entire color is orange if it is a female Baltimore Oriole, and it has different colors on body if it is a male Baltimore Oriole. Now let us see the questions first. The other name of Baltimore Oriole was. Now the passage till we have read, we didn't see any another name for this. Now let us read some more things. Baltimore Orioles range throughout the eastern and mid western United States. Now you just have to go through the passage and read it as quickly as possible to read that particular word. Now here, if you see this passage carefully, just drag your eyes towards down. You can see the name. The name. Now let us read this. At the western edge of their range, Baltimore Orioles may breed with the Bullock's Oriole. They were once considered the same species under the name Northern Oriole. Baltimore Orioles build unusual pouch-like nests that hang down the branches. So it is the name Northern Oriole. Now let us see the options. Bullock's Orioles, Baltimore Orioles. It is Northern Oriole. So Northern Oriole is another name of Baltimore Oriole. It is as it is given in this passage. Now you might be confused about the other name, because if you read this line carefully, it is written at the western edge of their range, Baltimore Orioles may breed with the Bullock's Oriole. They were once considered the same species under the name Northern Oriole. Now they breed with Bullock's Oriole. It means these are somebody else, and their names were Northern Oriole. So Northern Oriole refers to Baltimore Oriole, and this is another species which was similar to there. Therefore, don't be confused in these two words. These are two different names, and the another name for Baltimore Oriole is Northern Oriole. Northern Orioles. So C will be the correct answer. So our answer is C. Now this is very confusing, but you have to look for this. So the correct answer is C. Now let us move to the next one. Question number 2. Which of these color is not found on a Baltimore Oriole? Now we have been given several colors, and we have been asked about that which color we cannot see on Baltimore Oriole. Now we know well that there are two types of Baltimore Oriole. One is male and another is female. And the female is throughout orange in color. But this male Oriole consists of many colors. Now let us see which color is not there. Here we have purple, orange, white and black. Now let us see in which the colors have been described about the. So let us see this paragraph. About 7 inches in length, the male Baltimore Oriole has a black head. So black we have. Throat and back and wings. Breast, stomach and rump are bright orange. So orange also we have. It also has an orange patch on the top of each wing and white wing bars. So we have. Now let us see the options again. Here we have orange color, we have white color and we have black color in Baltimore Oriole. But only purple color does not exist in any kind of Oriole. So our answer is A. Again, this is very simple, which is given according to the passage. Now let us move to the next one. Which of the following is the closest in size to a Baltimore Oriole? So let us first see that what is the size which is given in the passage of a Baltimore Oriole. Now if we see this passage or the first paragraph, we can see it is about 7 inches in length. So this is the size, 7 inches in length. Now let us see if some other information about its size has been given. This can be easily attracted by gardens. No, nothing other thing is given according to the size of or about the size of Baltimore Oriole. Now we know well that it is 7 inches, and the ratios which are given to us or the size which is given to us is as compared to the scale. the size has been compared to a scale, or compared um with the size of a scale. Now it is written half a scale, the size of a half a scale, a little more than a half a scale, a little less than a half a scale, a foot ruler. Now, if we see the scale that we use, the smallest one in our school is somewhere 12 inches. So, the half of it is 6, and 7 is some more of it. So, a little more of it. So, if we see the options, it is not the half a scale, it is a little more. It is a little more than a half a scale. So, here the correct answer is B. See, because the sizes of a scale may vary, but we have to take the standard size, or which is normally talked about, because it is a foot ruler. It means the smallest one that we use in our schools. The Baltimore Oriole spend the winters in the. Now let us see, where does it spend its winter. So you can see over here, Baltimore Orioles winter in the tropics. It means it spends its winter in the tropics. So let us see the options. Dakotas, Carolinas, tropics, and deserts. So obviously it spends time in tropics in winter. So our answer is C. Answers are given directly in the passage, but you have to be a little more conscious, or a little more careful about reading the words, because the words are written closest or closer to each other. What is the color of the female Baltimore Oriole? We know this very well, that it is dull orange throughout. So it is dull orange throughout. So our answer is C, because in this, if you see this passage number 7's second paragraph, the female is dull orange throughout. So it is dull orange. It is directly given in the passage. Now let us move to the next one. Which of the following does not attract the Baltimore Oriole? Now, which of the following things does not attract Baltimore? Now let us see it in the passage first. They can easily be attracted to gardens by nailing orange wedges to tree branches. Baltimore Orioles are also known to feed at hummingbird feeders and sapsucker-wills. Now, you can see over here in this last paragraph, it is written can easily be attracted to gardens. So, to gardens, they are attracted nailing orange wedges and tree branches. Baltimore Orioles are also known as to feed on hummingbird and sapsucker wills. Now, let us see the options. It is written oranges, hummingbird feeders, sapsucker wills, sunflower seeds. Now, we have been given these things: oranges, sapsucker, and hummingbirds, but we have not been given this word, that is sunflower seeds. So, according to the passage, our answer is D. Now, let us move to the next question. The Baltimore Oriole can be found as North and Sea, South Dakota, the Carolinas, California, and Baltimore. So let us see this in the passage. The Baltimore Oriole can be found as. Now let us see it in the options. Or the passage, Eastern and West United States, and can be found as far west as the Dakotas. So we can also call them Dakotas. Therefore, our answer is A, that is Dakotas. But here it is written North and South. So, as it is given directly in the passage, so our answer is A, because it is given directly in the passage. Now, let us move to the next question. Which of the following is not true about the Baltimore Oriole? Now, let us read the sentences, the options. They feed upside down sometimes. They may breed with the Bullock's Oriole. Baltimore Oriole is uncommon in the US and has a black throat. Now let us verify these statements with the passage. Let us first see the option which contains color, that Baltimore Oriole has a black throat. Now let us see which color throat is there in Baltimore Oriole. So Oriole has a black head, throat, and beak. It means it has black throat. So this statement is correct. Now, if this statement is correct, but we have been asked about the not true statement, it means some statement which is not correct. Now, let us see another statement. The Baltimore Oriole is uncommon in the US. Now, let us see in the options. Sorry, in the passage. The female is dull orange throughout. Baltimore Orioles range throughout the eastern midwestern United States. So it is range throughout the eastern and midwestern United States and can be found as far west as the Dakotas. At the western edge, it means this statement is again incorrect because it is known to US as well. They may breed with Bullock's Oriole. So obviously it is also written their range, Baltimore Orioles may breed with Bullock's Oriole. So this statement is also correct. Now only one statement is left, so that should be the answer. But let us read or verify this as well. They feed upside down sometimes. Now let us see in the options or in the passage. They feed at hummingbird feeders and sapsucker wells. Now if we see in this passage, it is written Baltimore Orioles build unusual pouch-like nests that hang down from branches. And let us read something about feeding process of Baltimore Oriole. Now, it is not given in the passage. In fact, it is given that when they built their nest, they built it down from the branches. So, nothing is given in the feeding process of Baltimore Oriole. That is why this option, the left option, is correct answer. So, this is untrue statement. So, our answer is A. The question 8 has answer A. Now, let us move to the next one. Where would I probably not found a Baltimore Oriole? High in the trees, in gardens and neighborhood, deciduous woodlands, the Sahara Desert. Now let us see where it is written, the Sahara Desert. If you have read the passage carefully, you must have seen that the Sahara Desert has not been talked about. We can see Oriole in common summer visitor to eastern midwestern deciduous woodlands, neighborhoods and gardens. Baltimore Orioles winter in tropics. The male, yes, everything has been given except that Sahara Desert. Therefore, our answer to this question is the Sahara Desert. So our answer is D. So this is the passage number 7. Now let us read this passage. As I stepped out of the train, I felt unusually solitary since I was only passenger to alight. I was accustomed to arriving in the summer when holiday makers throng coastal resorts, and this was of my first visit when the season was over. My destination was a little village which was 8 miles by road. It took only a few minutes for me to come to the foot of the cliff path. When I reached the top, I had left all signs of habitation behind me. Now let us see the questions first. The winter felt unusually solitary because, now let us see the options. He was feeling very lonely without his family. He was missing the company of other holiday makers. His destination was a little village and 8 miles away. There was no one to meet him. He felt solitary. It means alone since I was. Now it is given in the first line of the passage, since I was the only passenger to alight. So let us read the options again. He was feeling very lonely without his family. No. He was missing the company of other holiday makers. Obviously, because he was the alone passenger. So this will be the correct answer. So our answer is B. Now let us move to the next one. I left all signs of habitation behind me. This means that, now if we see this passage again, when I reached the top, I had left all the signs of habitation. Now habitation refers to an area where people live or where people have houses. So let us see the options. Came to a place where there were very few houses, was in front of a large collection of cottages, had come very far from places where people lived, just past a remote village. Yes, of course, it is C, that is, had come very far from places where people lived. Now let us move to the next question. It became darker than the winter expected because, Now let us see the passage again. I was surprised to notice that the sky was already aflame with the sunset. It seemed to be getting dark amazingly quickly. I was at the loss to account the exceptionally early end of the daylight, since I do not think I had walked unduly slowly. Now, then I recollected that on previous visit I had walked in high summer, and now it was a previous time that when he walked in high summer, and how it was in October. Now, October, we know very well that it is time when winter starts. So all at once it was night. The track was grassy, and even in daylight showed up hardly at all. I was terrified of hurtling over the edge of the cliff to the rocks below. Now, in this paragraph, you can have a clue that it became darker than the writer expected because the nights are longer in October than the midsummer. So we have read this line in the passage. So this will be the correct answer. So our answer is B. Now let us move to the next question. The writer found it difficult to keep the path because of the darkness and narrowness of the path, poor visibility in grassy track. Now, if you see this line carefully, I had walked unduly slowly. Then I recollected that the track was grassy, and even in daylight showed up hardly. It means it was hardly visible. Therefore, the answer of this question will be B, that is poor visibility in grassy track. So our answer is B. That is why a writer found it difficult to keep up the path. When he settled himself on on the fork of the tree, the writer. Now let us see this in the passage. I felt my feet squelching and sticking in something soggy. Then I bumped into a little clump of trees that loomed up in front of me. I climbed up the nearest trunk and managed to find a tolerably comfortable fork to sit on. The waiting was spent by my attempts to identify the little stirrings and noises of animals' life that I could hear. I grew colder and colder and managed to sleep only in an uneasy, fitful starts. At last, when the moon came up, I was on my way again. Now, in this, we can see. Now, let us see this question number 5. When he settled himself on the fork of the tree, the writer had a sound sleep, was disturbed by the noises of animals, was too afraid to sleep, tried to sleep, but without much success. Obviously, the answer is D, as we have seen in the passage that he was afraid and he was unable to sleep. So, our answer is D. Now, let us move to the next one. Now, let us move to the next passage. This is passage number 9. The instinctive natural way to express anger is to respond aggressively. Anger is a natural adaptive response to threats. It inspires powerful, often aggressive feelings and behaviors which allow us to fight and to defend ourselves when we are attacked. Now let us see the options. How does a person naturally expresses anger? So we have read this in the line. Natural way to express anger is to respond aggressively. So it is directly given in the passage, in the first line of the passage, by inspiring powerful feelings by responding aggressively. Obviously, this will be the answer. So our answer is B. Now let us move to the next one. Which of the following places limits on how far we can take our anger? So, which of the following places limits on how far we can take our anger? Let us see this in the passage. Anger is natural adaptive response to threats, inspires powerful, often aggressive feelings and behaviors which allow us to fight and to defend ourselves when we are attacked. On the other hand, we can't physically lash out every person, object that irritates, annoy us. Laws, social norms, and common sense place limits. Now, which are the things? Laws, social norms, and common sense place limits on how far our anger can take us. So this is the line. So the last line of the first paragraph depicts the answer, that is law. So there were three things. one of them has been given, so our answer is D, that is law. So this is again directly given in the passage. Now let us move to the next question. According to the author, how should people deal with their anger? So let us see in the passage again. People use variety of both conscious and unconscious process to deal with their angry feelings. The three main approaches are: focus on something positive, expressing your angry feelings in an assertive, non-aggressive manner in the healthiest way to express anger. Being assertive doesn't mean being pushy or demanding, it means being respectful of yourself and others. So this is the passage in which we can get this answer. So let us see the options again. How people should deal with their anger. So they should not be aggressive. It should be express it assertively. So our answer is A. And what is the meaning of this being assertive has already been given in the passage. What does the author mean by being assertive? Now we found the question being assertive and we have just read it. It does not mean being pushy, not demanding. It is to be respectful. So our answer is C, which is again directly given in the passage. Now let us move to the next one. How, according to the author, can one suppress anger? Now let us read this again in the passage. Anger can be suppressed and then converted or redirected. This happens when you hold in your anger, stop thinking about it, and focus on something positive. Now, let us see this option in the passage or in the options. By holding one's anger, by thinking about one's anger, by converting or redirecting. No, it is by holding one's angers. So, our answer is A. This is very simple passage. The answers are directly given in the passage only. So this is how we can solve the paragraph or the passages of reading comprehension. This is very simple style, and I hope you all will be able to solve the passages correctly from now onwards. Thank you very much.